1.
This week's edition. Hold on, coughing.
Good start.
Sorry, it's
like Brett Thune. We're back.
we don't wear masks here. All right.
Is that your emotional support beer?
It is. It is. I love that guy. Welcome to the show this week. We got a fun show. I got my mullet hat out, and I was telling the guys, this is a homemade mullet hat that I made when I lived in Alabama, and it's lived with me for a long time now. I think I've had this thing for like 14 years. As you can see, it's Dixie Electric, which really fits a mullet hat. So excited to bring that out. Nushan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. That you had to make that just so you could fit in there because they don't really like your guy down there.
Yeah, they don't. I heard a lot of "You're the first Jew I've met" when I lived in Alabama.
Perfect.
I was like, well, here's the good news for you. Every stereotype is true. So if you meet one Drew, you've met them all. So yeah, Wes, how you doing? I bet you see a lot of these in your neck of the woods.
So I do. I live in the biggest city here, but yeah, there's rednecks everywhere, man. Yeah, I will say everything that you think about. I'm from Kentucky. Everything you think about Alabama is fucking true. I've been to like Talladega for the race like a dozen times, and woo boy, yeah.
The Montgomery especially, and there's South Georgia is real bad in areas of Alabama, but I was amazed. I lived in Danville, Virginia. That was the worst of all of them. Look up Danville, Virginia. It's the last capital of the Confederacy, and they didn't realize it ended. Pretty bad. In Montgomery, the one thing, and me and my wife were actually talking about this a couple weeks ago. When we first got to Montgomery, they still have segregated proms. Back when I was there, segregated proms. This is like, God, maybe 12 years, maybe 13 years ago or so, they were still doing segregated proms. If that tells you what you need to know about Alabama, fucking freedom. Segregated proms in like 2007.
So much freedom.
You can taste it. It tastes like fucking high life. It tastes like high life. All right, Brad, how are you doing today?
Man, I've got like 3 Budweisers in my fridge, and I feel like I need to go get one and crack it open right now with all this talk of Alabama. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm ready to break down 2 good fights and a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. There was some who the fuck is this guy on this card, and there's some decent fights I would say throughout the card, but it's not a pay-per-view card. If you take for a pay-per-view fight, and I'm sick of the UFC putting these WMMA fights on pay-per-views when they know nobody wants to see it. Like, how many times do we have to put Jessica I on a pay-per-view?
Has Jessica ever had a fun fight? Ever?
No.
And when she got knocked the fuck out, that's the only fun one.
And they put her against one of the other most boringest fighters you could imagine. Like, what are they doing? Hey, just make sure you buy it, or Dana's going to be hiding in your trash can with a listening device. Don't stream the fights anymore. He'll stalk the fuck out of you. And
we got him.
Dana, I'm going to stream it. I'm going to stream it, Dana.
Yep. I'm streaming it, Dana.
I think it's almost impossible to prosecute someone for using the stream. He always mentions that he could take down and fight the people hosting the stream, and that's not good. But average Joe sitting on their couch streaming a website, that's really what they're going to be focused on. You're going to be knocking on your door. Oh my God.
And the funny thing is, even the people that upload most of these streams, is he going after some dude in fucking, bumfuck Russia that's uploading this stream or something? There's nothing they can do about this. Absolutely.
They're all overseas because it's not like you're not getting the actual pay-per-view. It's like what is that British station that they all come on?
The BT
Sports.
Yeah, they're all BT Sports. So it's the whole thing is funny. But we did have a card a couple days ago, which was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I mean, I missed a lot of the early stuff, so I might have not been able to pay full attention, maybe not missed. I had calls all day, and I had the fights on a screen, and then teams on a screen, and on video calls. So it was an interesting day, but there was some fun fights. So we'll just jump right in. The first fight, there was this chick who beat up this other chick, And then the like they do every single time there's a WMMA fight where there's a finish, they go, oh my God, this girl I've never heard of is the future, and she is going to be a champ. I just got her name. It looks like it's Marion Fluoride, something like that. So yeah, future champion in what division? What division is this? Maybe
she's gonna take out Shevchenko.
She honestly, she has just as good a chance as anyone else. And
True.
Jessica I fights for the belt. Jennifer Maia fights for the belt. Is it far-fetched that this girl's next fight is for the title?
She's one fight away.
She literally might be one fight away. Really?
Especially COVID times.
We're setting the total at 0.5 fights away from the title. What are you saying?
I mean, I'll say 1.5. She's going to fight. Who's the washed-up vet at 125? Do they have 15 fighters in this division? Yeah, that girl could beat Jessica I. Right?
Probably.
I mean, that's the thing. They're all so shitty outside of Shevchenko. Like, not like, hey, the champ's dominant and everyone else just can't beat her. No. They're all really, really, really bad fighters besides Shevchenko. So a girl like this could literally, if she fought Jessica I tomorrow, she could win that fight and get a title shot. So bad.
Can't
They
wait.
always bring it, Lance. They always bring it.
The ladies do always bring it. All right. Weirdly enough, we started this card off with a finish in the women's flyweight division and then a finish by a Russian, as we had Umar Nurmagomedov beating Sergey Morzov by submission in the second round. He looked decent. Everyone was talking about how he's the second coming. This reminded me of Chimaev when he came like last year, where if a guy is Russian and he finishes a guy who's not very good, future champ too.
Yeah, I thought he looked okay, but yeah, we got to slow down with the Russian hype shit. But
He did what he was supposed to as a minus 500 favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly.
Like, is it that impressive when a guy does what he's supposed to? Like, that's the thing that's always frustrating about MMA, and same thing in boxing, right? These big favorites, they win impressively. Like, oh my God, here we are. But like, and the thing is with these Russians, I feel like they take them slower than everyone else too. Like you could probably think off the top of your head 10 Russians who they took it slow with, and then as soon as they get a step up and they fight someone they're going to struggle to get down on the ground, they lose. It's every time. And Khabib was the difference in that one, which they took him very, very slow, if you recall. The problem with Khabib is no one could ever stop his takedown. That's why he kept winning. But most of these Russians,
Except T-Bat when he beat him.
yeah, obviously, we'll never drop that, even though it means just so little. We're not going to drop it. That's not what we do. But I mean, he looks decent. Another boring, a boring fighter who fights. I just don't care about these Russians.
Yeah, I mean, and they even went out of their way to make his debut easier, because originally he was supposed to fight Azur last year, and then that got canceled. And then he was supposed to fight Nathaniel Wood, and that got canceled. And then they booked him twice against this shitty guy that he tapped out.
Those are tough fights, those other ones.
Yeah.
I guess they weren't trying to take it slow with them.
Yeah, I mean, like even Hunter Azure, like he's dangerous. Like he's pretty good. Nathaniel Wood obviously is not a bad fighter, but he's British, so styles maybe. And I didn't have any bets on this card for a while once we got to the lung ambulance. But next up, lightweight division, which really good fight here, as we had Mike Davis defeating Mason Jones by decision. I thought about playing Davis. I just knew it was going to be close, so I didn't. I didn't have another piece of them anyway. I already had my parlays done, but I thought it was a good fight. I thought people were crying robbery on this fight, which I've come to the realization that people just cry robbery. Like this was a close fight, and I thought it wasn't that hard to score. Personally, like what the scores were is what I expected. I think we sometimes confuse close rounds with robberies, but I don't know. I thought Mike Davis won 2 rounds and he won the fight.
Stats can sometimes be deceiving and stuff, but Jones did outland him by quite a bit in the 3rd round. But I still thought that Davis probably won the 3rd. I mean, it was close. You can't call robbery either way. Actually, I thought Jones showed well for himself even in a loss. Like I like both of these guys. I want to see both these dudes fight again, and that was a hell of a fight, man. Like that fight was really fucking good. I had some I believe fight inside the distance money on that, and fuck, man.
Yep.
When a fight goes like that, to start from the get go, you're like, man, this is a good bet. And then they kept doing that, and I was like,
too durable.
yeah, I was like, man, fuck, this is a good bet. And then all of a sudden, I was like, man, fuck, this is going 15 minutes, and they're gonna be swinging the whole time. But yeah, it was a great fight.
Oh, we did have a comment. I forgot. I meant to open with this and I forgot. Shout out Team Sleeveless betting a fake line at minus 136, and he put 7 units on it. Knew it was fake, so made it for free just to try to pad his stats because he's down a lot. Not even close. And I think Bro Hugs, was he on the same side too?
No, he sold some chalk. He sold a chalk parlay.
Bro Hugs had 4.1 units on him.
Oh, did he? Oh, so he sold the chalk parlay and another fake line. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Like, yes, like touts and idiots and MMA children always bet on these hype trains, but like looking at this, like Albazi was always, like circled, I think, for all of us. And this hype train didn't make sense. He beat a guy who everyone thought was okay after a layoff or whatever. What's that fucking guy's name?
Al-Hassan.
Yeah. And then, but his next fight, he also got his shit kicked in. So wouldn't that kind of eliminate a little bit of the hype? And then look at who all, Warley has faced. I was just surprised that all the touts went crazy on this. And I think it's mostly because they all started a bad line. And they were like, ooh, it's low.
That, and we talked about it before. They wanted, I don't know what it is with like the younger, I don't want to say younger, but just coming into sport, they want to say they picked the hype train. They all want to be like, I told you I was on it, from the jump. But yeah,
I think they're just really shitty gamblers. Like
that seems like the most likely scenario.
Overthinking shit, man.
What did you say in the last 4 events? Those 2 are down 16 and 20 units or something like that.
Yeah, the one we're talking about specifically. Let's get to the point. This dude's just a horrible gambler. He's bad at this, and it ain't even about being a tout and shit. Like, he is bad at this. Like this guy is like he's losing ungodly amounts of money on this shit, man.
Well, it's not that much money.
Well, yeah,
it's a lot of units. It's not a lot of money.
Well, I'll give it to him. He posted, he got all brave and shit and posted his ticket again on a line that was like available at one book on the planet.
He's only betting $100 a unit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's $100 a unit, and you think your bets are worth fucking paying?
I know.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's crazy because I talked to a couple like actual pro gamblers and shit and DMs and shit, and these guys laugh at Mark like he is a joke because they bet a couple grand a game. You know what I'm saying? This guy's selling bets and he's betting $500 or something. Even that, it's like that ain't even a real bet to like real bettors.
Like a real gambler, right?
Yeah,
like,
real
that's
fucking better.
In a nutshell, though.
I want to know what the end game is for them, because like even if you win 100 units in the whole fucking year, if you're doing this full time, if you're betting $100 a unit, that's $10,000.
Yep. You're banking on getting $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year in subs. Like,
yeah, that's why you do that. Like, our boy Addy always says, like, if you're good enough, you won't go tout. But there's more to that too, right? If you don't have enough money, even if you're good enough, right? Like, let's say I want to go like pro gambler, right? And I'm sleeveless and I've been, slaving away at my 30K job a year. I don't have money saved up to be a professional gambler. To be a professional gambler, you need at least a couple $100,000 to start with. There's runs, there's ups and downs. So if you're starting your bankroll with a couple grand, maybe even $5,000, right? Like, you don't have enough money to be a professional gambler. If you're betting a couple thousand, it's like you go 1 and 3, you're broke. Like,
there goes the mortgage for this next month.
Especially when you quit your job.
Yeah.
So they do the tote thing to try and get people to bankroll them, basically.
Yeah. Or not even like where they want to change their amounts. You bet because you like betting, right? But those guys who are touts, they know they're never going to want to bet, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand on a game or a fight, knowing that's how much it would take to be a professional gambler, because you're never going to pick more than 60%. So you have to understand you're going to have to bet big to be able to make a living. So they're like, hey, I'm never going to bet that much. So if I sell these, if I can get 1,000 people to give me $25 a week, I can actually make that a little more sustainable without even betting more. Even the successful touts, I bet most of them don't bet more. Why would they? There's no risk.
And when you're most touts, you got to just continue to be an absolute whore because the turnover is so much because you're losing. They're eventually going to be like, fuck, he cost me all my money. I can't go back to him. The turnover and having to whore yourself out. The bad part now is it got legal and shit everywhere, and there's people putting together sites to where it's content instead of shit. So they pay these shitty touts to just give them content. We're going to give out bets and pay them their sum. Yep. And it's just a bunch of horrible shit that's costing people money.
Well, I mean, you saw that, was it Pennsylvania that just absolutely murdered?
It's the Barstool. The Barstool.
Yeah, because they got all the fucking shitty Barstool bettors.
Well, I read
this dumb shit.
So it was the biggest hold in a month span in history. It was like a 29% hold.
19%. But
19%.
Yeah, which
20% of the money gambled on that site was lost.
And the goal was like 10. You're 10, you're very successful.
Like they average out about 9 and shit. Yeah. But I read a write-up, and what's so bad about that is because Barstool puts out that betting content, and it's a lot of parlays and shit like that. So they're feeding
that shit up.
They're feeding the base, the actual bettors that come bet on their site, horrible bets to make. Then they go on their book and make all those horrible bets and lose.
Genius.
It's a good racket.
No, it's like insider trading. Like fuck.
It is.
That's a business to me. Like I have no issues with that. Like if you're dumb enough to watch a hour-long show with Dave Portnoy and that Marty Mush dude and Big Cat and take their advice seriously and then go bet it, that's your fault. I'm sorry. And the thing with the tout game, winning is secondary for all these touts. It's how you sell. It's how you market. We see it for all these guys, like the Greek, right? You can hate on him all you want. The guy's made a fucking killing over his lifetime just selling himself. He's expert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, he's on the fucking UFC betting show. I mean, he's giving out bets every week. It's crazy.
It's all the brand, baby.
You hear from guys behind, like, our girl Trish has gotten a couple texts and they're like, man, I have no idea why this guy's here. He's up here like shaking and sniffing and shit.
Weirdly enough, like the people who don't gamble, who aren't in that world, if you will, right? They don't see that. They don't know who's a good gambler or whatever. The average person in the street kind of pictures a professional gambler to look exactly like him or how I'm dressed right now. Some weird
stereotypes.
Right?
Stereotypes,
maybe. You see it. Like if you see a normal good looking guy in the street with like a dress shirt on, like you're not gonna think like, oh yeah, this guy knows how to, bet on human fighting. But you look at the Greek, you're like, oh yeah, this guy stayed up all night. Just doing blow and tape study. Like that's what he did.
Yeah, he's working.
And inside information, people still actually believe that that's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I got the inside info, and it's no.
Well, do you remember this whole thing? I don't know if he still does it. I remember like 10 years ago, because he's been around forever. When it was like the fall of the Steam. He'd post these tweets and be like, Steam alert.
Yeah. Yo, that guy's been around for a couple decades, bro. Yeah. He's been around a long time. And to be able to be like that bad and still be around, like it does say something that you said, man.
Con man.
It is. He's a good con man. Is exactly what it is. Yep. That guy's a good con man.
Did you know Brandon Lang is still selling picks?
Oh my God.
Did you know that?
I remember people used to fade him like they fade Ben.
Yeah.
Like it was on like fucking forums and shit like that.
SPR forum. I used to always go on there. He still sells picks, and it's funny. Like we always think of like, okay, we'll buy his picks to fade him. That's smart people. Most people are going, oh my God, this is that guy from that movie.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I guess it's enough tout talk, which we could do for a while.
Well, we had to go into fake ticket and the greatest gambler.
I'm glad someone mentioned that because I'm glad we got into it. But let's now move on to the flyweight division as we had Francisco Figueroa taking on Jerome Rivera. He looked okay. He's not his brother, and I think we'll get some good lines in the future. And Jerome Rivera just is not a UFC fighter.
No.
I thought he was going to be decent coming in. I really did, based on some of his experience. But he doesn't know what he's doing in there. He's a guy who wants to get to the ground that has like negative wrestling ability, and he's not that great off his back. He has to be on top to be successful.
Yep. Yeah, I heard the best way I heard that fight described is that we've got Figgy Smalls, and his brother is Figgy Stalls.
Yeah, that was fucking great. Hey, you're right. The future we should get a good line, but hell, it got down to -145 here, and I took a shot, dude. That was still dumb. This was an easy fight for him here, but he's not his brother.
Yep.
Nope.
I actually I picked Rivera in Toutmaster and still got the highest points of the week.
Oh,
so
shit,
maybe if I was
really?
a little bit smarter, I could have done better.
Are you
Which-
leading?
No, I had 5 points in the first event, and then 13 over 13 on Wednesday. So I'm consistent. All right, next we go to middleweight division. Our boy Lung Ambulance defeated Marcus Perez 20-20 across the board. I bet on him. I had him in a parlay. When I got down to when it was like -140, I was like, Marcus Perez sucks. Like he does nothing well. That's why I bet here. Not thinking Lung Ambulance is any good, just facing Perez. And I didn't think the game plan was going to be lay on him. But whatever. And they kept talking like he was going to die of exhaustion in the cage. I don't know. Like I didn't see that. And if you look at like his fight history, he's had a bunch of like fights that he's finished in the 4th round, in the 5th round, and he's went 5 before. And they started talking about him gassing out 15 seconds in as he was dominating the first 2 rounds. And yeah, it was typical.
Perez wasn't doing anything to help that gassing
No.
either, though.
Cormier acted like 2 minutes in that like, okay, now it's interesting.
Yeah.
Cormier,
Mr. Narrative. That guy's a fucking. Ugh.
He's bad, dude.
getting
Like
worse every card worse.
he
He'll-
is really. Yep.
He will not stop talking. Brutal. But yeah, Lung Ambulance, I don't think there's anything to write home about. Next, we have flyweight division. Sue Madarji defeated Zaruka Adashev. I actually took down our boy Sue Madarji a level here. I thought he looked terrible. I thought he looked absolutely terrible. He was fighting a guy that was not good, really tiny, really short, not a lot of experience. And it was a decently close fight. Like, until he dropped him in that round, like it was decently close. I was not impressed by this.
No,
He was going up
I
against
thought
a
he was
decent
just going to blow him out.
kickboxer, But
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
as well. But
He's still, you can see that he's got some tools and shit though, and that length and shit at that weight class is gonna. I mean,
depends
it's
on the matchup, right?
yeah. He's got to get. I mean, he's young as hell, man. He's got to get better. But that you're right. That against that guy at that kind of price, like that wasn't. He should have finished that guy. I mean, the total was like 1.5 and shit. Yeah, he should have finished that guy.
I hit this parlay still though. I had him with Lung Ambulance, not Bang Bus. If you want to,
I took all the big chalk and fucking put it together and did a small one with the points handicaps of all of them too. That was easy.
Yep.
it was a good card, and the dogs I picked, unlike the first card, were a lot better. This is one of my better cards I've had in a while.
Yeah.
All right, bantamweight division. What?
No, you're good. You're good.
It's all you, Lance. You cut out.
Bantamweight division, Ricky Simone.
Praise I'm on.
Ricky Simone defeated Gaston Perello by submission arm triangle. This was easy.
That's
This is actually the only bet I lost. I had him with Breeze. It would have been the sweep if Breeze knew how to fight. But yeah, Simone looked good. And it looks like he's fighting Boom Boom next, which I think is a very good stylistic matchup for him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Did what it was supposed to do. Lost the mullet though, which is a little sad.
Yeah, Simone's fun though, man. Like, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're like, don't fuck around, go in there and wreck somebody. Like, I like Simone. I like what he said after too. And they asked him, why is it like one of the first times he really used his wrestling? He's like, because I like to get paid. I got to go in there and knock guys out. At least that dude,
50K.
he's smart enough to know how this shit works right now. And like, I'm not gonna make no money if I don't go in there and show out. So I like that attitude, and he did it.
But he also got slept by Uriah Faber.
Yeah,
that was a tough one.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was excellent.
I think I got Faber at like 400 plus 400 or something in that fight. It was something ridiculous.
That was a crazy line.
All right, moving on to the main card. Omari Akhmedov defeated Tom Breeze arm triangle. Man, the first round was brutal. Breeze survived. I kind of thought at that point, like, well, Brad's gone. He died. I thought he was home free after that first round.
Yep.
And, the last 30, 40 seconds, he had his back. And I was like, oh, Akhmedov's dead. And then just some dumb shit. Like,
Quit.
that, yeah, he kind of gave up on the arm triangle quite quickly, which, considering where it seemed like the fight was trending with the third round or second round starting, kind of surprised we saw that kind of a quit job. Like, that was not good. He did not fight that at all.
He was probably embarrassed he fell into it to begin with. Like, have you ever seen that? I don't know if I've seen like a guy fall into some shit like that.
Fell into an arm triangle.
Fuck, man. And I felt the same way. I was like, man, that was a brutal first round, but like, it's good now. Like, he's going to slow down. Breeze is going to start getting it on him. And it kind of looked that way to start the round. Yeah. Man, that's disappointing. Breeze is done. He's on the list. There, you cannot tell. He's on the Chandler's list. You can't touch that guy. You can't do it.
What if he faces another like KB Bular?
Ooh, there you go.
I can't trust him, man. That to fall into something like that in the
He's
tap.
just so inconsistent.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
Seems like a guy that should be fucking good too. Like,
should be better.
But a guy like that to me can never be great. He can't be very good. He can't wrestle. If you can't wrestle, you can always lose. You can always.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And Brad, what is one question we need to ask ourselves now?
Is he top 5?
That's a Derek Lewis thing.
I know. Is he British?
No, think of Akhmedov now. How good is Chris Weidman? Title shot.
Oh, yeah.
Title.
I mean, Weidman just
Poor
dominated.
soul is gonna get fucking slicked. Whoever he fights next.
He's fighting Uriah Hall.
Yeah, he's gonna get slicked.
Yeah, I keep picturing that one going, well, my boy can definitely take him down. He can ride him out. But I'm like, but it went on the feet. He could get slept with one punch. But Uriah Faber, not a fan of punching people in the face. It's a very tough fight to break down.
Hall is definitely gonna probably knock him out.
I'm betting
I
Weidman.
think he wants revenge. He's angry.
Yeah, Lance just hates himself so much.
If Josh Koscheck came back and fought next week versus Usman, I'm taking Kos all day, even money. Take it. There's certain guys.
You're a man of your principles, Lance.
Well, I got to say, I've made a lot of money betting Dubronx every fight of his career. Besides when he fought Frankie Edgar. Another guy I bet every time.
Ooh, you're gonna lose some money.
Oh, we're gonna talk about a certain guy on this card talking.
Corey Sandhagen's a dead man.
Well, we'll talk about the guy talking on this next card so much bullshit about Charles Olives or whatever the fuck.
I don't know who that guy that said that is, but fuck him.
He'd be choked dead like the rest.
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
Yes.
Featherweight division. Another fight. Not that impressed with the victor here. Lerone Murphy defeated Douglas Silva de Andrade, 20-28, 20-28, 30-27. I don't know. Like, I think there was a lot of hype coming into this one, and I thought I thought it'd be more one-sided than it was. He got hit a lot. Like he took some shots. Like, did you see? Yeah, his face looked like I hit by a shovel after the fight. And
Both sides.
He's one of those guys that he's like someone. I think it was Brady said he's kind of like a shitty Lineker, which is kind of a good comparison there. But he's a very, very shitty Lineker, and then going away too. And I don't know. I kind of people kept talking about Murphy was like the next big thing. I didn't see it.
Not yet. He's
I think
got some shit to do.
I think I picked him as my breakout featherweight of the year, maybe. And immediately after that fight, I do not feel good about that.
Yeah. Did not look good.
Also, everybody takes his back. Everybody. Yeah. He always gets his back taken. So at some point, like that's not going to work out for you.
Even though I think don't sell Andrade like that short. Like that's a tough guy.
He's just durable.
Yeah, that's
durable.
That's a tough out. But he shouldn't have your face literally. That dude was split, swollen one side. I was fucked. Yeah, you can't get beat up by a fucking Andrade like it.
I think the thing with Andrade, he's dangerous because he's going to move forward, and he throws these wild shots that sometimes land. If that happened, if he landed a couple wild shots, fine. There was times he was just kind of piecing him up. Like it wasn't like he was just always just landing these lucky like wide shots. Like Murphy got outboxed a little bit, and he got hit a little bit, and those weren't one shots that caused that damage. And that's where I think his defense is a bit shaky versus a guy who, if you're a good boxer, you should be able to avoid most of those shots. And I think that was the biggest part for me, at least. All right, next flyweight fight. Matt Schnell defeated Tyson Nam, 29-28, 28-29, 20-28. I bet Schnell here. I like Schnell a lot. This was not how I drew it up. Schnell was quicker. He was faster. And I guess we saw the narrative from DC and others, and we saw it on Twitter, but why do people think Tyson Nam is Mike Tyson? Like the narrative on Twitter leading up to the fight, like, oh, if Nell gets touched once, he's done. If he gets touched once, he's done. They kept talking like Cormier, oh my God, the power of Tyson Nam. Do we not remember like Tyson Nam sucks? Did we forget that? Like he knocks out some of the worst fighters I've ever seen in my life in the UFC, and he has some fun knockouts, but the guy sucks. He's a bad fighter who gets
knocked out too, though.
Yeah, it's the chin of Schnell too that had to play into it a little.
Nam would be by far like not even close to the worst guy that Schnell has gotten knocked out by.
Yeah, very, very true.
Yeah, I mean, it was the fans maybe like the people on Twitter saying Nam's gonna knock him out. Sure, they're probably looking at the account of his chin, but I think a lot of people, and the announcers included, just think Nam. Like they kept saying it like there's like 5 seconds left. You got to be careful with that right hand. He one time put out Júnior Pudada out.
Schnell's fucking just styling on him like that. That was like you said, Lentz. Like it wasn't how I saw it going. I was like really big on the under here, and that was a total whiff. But you're right. Like Schnell looked great on the feet, even though I was like screaming, take him because I picked Schnell. I didn't end up. Man, his hands look great. His footwork looked great against a guy that does swing and throw some bungalows. I thought Schnell looked pretty good.
Question: how the fuck was this a split decision?
Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. He won. What was it? The third? Like definitely won the third. And was that the round they had to give Nam the third? The one judge that gave him.
I think it was the second. Maybe the first.
Schnell outlanded him in every round.
Yeah.
So the guy that gave it to Nam gave him second and third.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would have had, and Schnell like styled on him in the third to close the fight. That was
they all gave Nam the third, but 2 of the 3 judges gave Schnell the second.
That should have been a 30-27 then. Like he won that third round too, in my opinion.
Was this Munich, Brad?
No. Munich was later and better.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Consensus was great, and Munich was.
Yep.
Very nice.
We can skip over this next one. Some chick I've never heard of beat that old unathletic chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad style matchup.
And then we had Ike Villanueva defeating possibly the worst fighter in light heavyweight division. He's so bad. Vinicius Moreira, second round knockout. He didn't even try in that fight. He just stood there. His plan was do nothing and get knocked out. There's no other way you can put it. Fun knockout though.
Yeah, that was a really good knockout.
I wish he could have done it 40 seconds sooner or more. That would have been nice if he did it in the first round. But still got the under. Yeah,
I didn't. I got a little under money myself. Yeah.
There's some really bad light heavyweights like this dude, Antigulov, Ibragimov.
Just quitters.
Prachnio is fighting on this card. Yep. There's some real bad light heavyweights in the UFC right now.
Tremendous. We already talked about this a little bit, but this was Munich. Was this Munich?
This was consensus.
Oh, okay.
That's great stuff, Steve.
I just won so many bets on Wednesday. It's hard to kind of keep track of which. It's really hard.
It can be tough.
I mean, you gotta know the plus 210 and the bookie or the tout basher here. You know.
Well, I couldn't remember if that was Munich or the main event was Munich because I know I had them both, and I know most of us did. I think we all had both of them, really.
No, one of us didn't have both.
Oh, teenage are always picked
everyone of drinking age had both of them.
Sean, you've been making some weird bets, man. You had like 4 bets on that old unathletic chick.
Yeah, I just kept
You
on
bet on
adding.
Magny
She's won me
versus
tons of
wrestler.
money. Whatever, that was dumb. That's fair enough. That's some unders. Yeah, it
Go
wasn't
back,
a good card.
go back to normal human betting. Like, I like these 5 guys to win fights. I'm going to bet on them. Versus, like, I like this chick to get a round 2 finish by flying
I've
arm
been
bar.
doing the crazy ones
0.5
this year.
units.
I've
Like-
stopped that shit.
Oh, yeah, you had 3.
Even I've been pretty tame.
And Modafferi.
Yeah, but her by decision, her points handicap. That's pretty.
That's
standard.
stupid. They were all losers.
They were big fat fucking losers.
We already talked about this, but welterweight division, Warley Alba's defeated. I've already forgot this guy's names. Warner Lazez, something like that. The hype, I didn't get the hype on this one. The guy looked like a good striker. We hadn't seen him grapple. Warley, obvious. I picked Warley not because I thought he was gonna like kick a fucking hole through his stomach. I thought it was more gonna be the grappling. But this was just the second it started, Warley comes out like a bat. He came out like a pissed off dude who lost a couple fights, put him in there with some child, and made him a plus $200. That's what it looked like for Warley Alves. And this guy's his cardio is never going to be good. His defense is never going to be good. But when you're not putting anything up against him and you're going to be a punching bag, this is one of the most violent dudes out there. And plus 200 all day.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Just an autoplay.
You make some good points about Warley too. That if you're not gonna like get in there and scrap, you're just gonna sit back and let him come in. But that was like Warley from right off of Tough. Like that shit was fucking nasty, man. The kicks and shit that was awesome, and just a crazy line against an unproven guy and shit. So good.
Yeah, it really didn't make any sense. Those kicks, those were like baseball bat body kicks, like those things.
Did you like the stupid thing they said on the commentary where they're like, sometimes it's the kick that hurts the guy, and sometimes he kicks him and then he hits him in his elbow and his own elbow hits him, and that's what hurts him.
Dude.
I missed that.
Talking about.
I missed that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
That was
Warley the God.
Yeah.
The Covington killer.
That's right.
Yeah, now I will say, as far as out of the cage, Warley can go fuck himself talking about
fuck him.
I don't like marijuana guys and shit, and it's not like shut the fuck up, dude. Nobody cares about your fucking marijuana stance, motherfucker.
Marijuana's bad. It's bad. Marijuana's bad. To his point though, most of the guys who are the marijuana guys, I strongly dislike. Nate Diaz.
What about
Nick
Gaethje?
Diaz.
There's all kinds of marijuana guys.
Fields, Gilbert Melendez, that whole camp. If those are the marijuana guys, that camp, fully on board with.
He was specifically talking about Nate, which I mean, at this point, that's probably not a bad call out for.
There's 0% chance he would.
He would never.
No, there's no reason on this planet for fucking Nate to go fight that guy. Like.
No, what was
dumb?
That would be a very fun.
Well, the rumor was
Gaethje, the entire fight.
The rumor was Gaethje versus Nate, and like, man, I don't know why they want to put Nate out like that. Like,
don't do that.
That's a tough one.
Nate should sit around and just hope that another McGregor fight falls in his lap.
It might.
It might. Yeah.
I mean, there's some. Like you could do like Poirier loses to McGregor. Like you can make Poirier Diaz, and that'd be something I think you get out of bed for, something like that.
Well,
but I think
supposed to fight.
Too.
Who else has gotten more big fights by doing less than Nate Diaz?
No one.
Nick Diaz?
Nick Diaz.
No, but Nick Diaz hasn't gotten that many big fights because he doesn't fight
he fought
ever.
GSP.
He got one.
Anderson Silva.
Two. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean he fought BJ Penn.
That
was
his last win.
That was borderline.
But at that point, we didn't know BJ was washed. We knew he was getting washed. We didn't know he was like floating away BJ Penn.
I feel like we knew that moving up to 170 BJ Penn at any point at that time in his career was not a good idea.
But we heard he was in shape and highly motivated.
Always.
So I think
running with rocks underwater and shit, all that good stuff.
Jumping out of pools onto the deck, just.
Should we hurry up and talk about how I'm a moron?
Yeah, you
main
are a
event or
moron.
what?
Main event, we had Neil Magny versus a wrestler, and Sean was like, "Man, let me lay that juice. Let me lay
Hey.
juice on Neil Magny versus a wrestler."
To be fair, I don't. Most of the Brad and West thought that he was going to finish Magny in the first or second.
But they won their bet.
And then I also said, and people think if it goes to the championship rounds that Magny's gonna win automatically, but he's gotten knocked out in his fourth round of one fight. He lost both rounds to Kellen Gastelum. He's now lost both rounds to Chiesa. Maybe Magny's cardio just isn't.
It's not
actually
cardio, man. It's fucking wrestling.
All right,
and
maybe
he just got
his
his ass
cardio
beat those
isn't a
other
weapon.
ones that he got finished. Like,
and maybe Chiesa's isn't like as horrible as we all thought now.
I still think he's gonna get fucked up if he fights any type of wrestler.
I
He's
mean,
gonna get murdered by
the live line on that fight was absurd. Chiesa was like minus 600, and then Magny landed 2 punches, and I think Chiesa failed on one takedown, and he went down to like minus 160.
Yeah,
wow,
it was nuts. And then he took him down and beat him up again.
So here's the thing with Chiesa, like, yeah, just if he faces a wrestler, any guy in the top 10 who can wrestle, Colby Covington, right? Like, Colby would just keep it on the feet and batter his face.
Yep.
Like, Colby's not a big power guy, so I think he's the greatest, but like striking versus Chiesa, that is not a competitive striking bout. It's going to look like a world-class striker versus Nushan if they would fight. Because Nushan kind of a little bit looks like Chiesa. And then, but other than that, like, how many dominant wrestlers who would want to take Chiesa to the ground? Like, I don't know. Like, Chiesa's so dangerous in the ground. So we'll see. I think he's an interesting guy at 170 plus money here. I thought was a gift. It was a good way to end the card with Munich. And I like Chiesa. He was a guy I did not really enjoy, even going back a couple years ago. But like, I like Chiesa now. I think, to me, he's by far the best analyst they have on there. He's tremendous in that role. Like, and I think he just evolved as a fighter. I think going to 170 was smart. He was so drawn out and weak at 155, and like, guys with that body type should not fight that low of a weight. And I think he's kind of a perfect example of that.
We should have height restrictions on weight classes. Like, if you're taller than 5'9", you have to be a lightweight. Then let's see how all these skinny James Vick looking fuckers do.
We almost killed a guy. He said he was at the gym on the bench. Steve Collins.
Steve.
We almost killed a man. Anyway, but good card overall. Everyone made money besides Nushan, so nothing different than normal. So yeah, it was a good card.
Yeah, it's a real fun card
for a Wednesday morning.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, Wednesday morning fights. I think they were over about 5 o'clock. Like that was pretty good.
I thought I was gonna like it more than I did, but that I had to do some work during the day, and it just kind of got in the way of watching fights, and I don't know. It didn't turn out as good as I had expected.
So mine worked out because I had an hour break. I had a meeting canceled, so I had no calls or anything during the co-main and main. So that was a nice surprise. And there was a couple on calls I had to present, which is hard to pay attention while presenting. I did it, but it's harder. One I really had to go through this whole PowerPoint thing. It was during a chick fight, and I was like, "This is glorious." I was like, "Thank you." All right, let's move on to UFC 257. Dustin Poirier takes on Conor McGregor. This is the card that, Conor McGregor's back, so you have all the people that in your life who know you love MMA and they don't watch it very much asking you, who is this Dustin Poirier fella, and is Conor going to win? So yeah, we're Conor McGregor fight week. So we'll go ahead and jump right in there. This card sucks. Pre-warning. This is not a good card. This is really, really bad until we get to the co-main. I will say, co-main event-wise, this is way better than we normally get for a Conor McGregor pay-per-view co-main. So we got that. Rest of the card, not too good. Flyweight division, Albazi versus Zhumagulov. He's the guy that in his Sherdog picture looks like he's 76, right?
He looks like the claymation dude from Zoolander, the Malaysian Prime Minister.
He looks like very wise, though.
He's
if I had an issue,
32.
I would climb up a mountain And then I get to the end and I crawl through this stuff and I find this little hut and there'd be a chimney with some white smoke coming out. And then I'd go in and I'd crawl and say, I need answers. And he'd be standing there.
Drop some knowledge.
Yeah. Very, very sharp guy. All right, Nushan, how's it going?
Okay. I think this will be an okay fight. I don't want any part of it. Zhumagulov is he went for a ton of takedowns, a guy that doesn't have great takedown defense, and he couldn't barely get any. But the problem is I don't think the Albazi guy is good either. I mean, he beat a shitty Canadian. That you're not anything special. I will pick Albazi, I guess, but I don't want to do anything with this fight.
Yeah, that's the right call. Wesley.
Yeah, I don't really know much here. Both of these guys just, I don't know. They kind of seem like the same dude. I haven't really looked too far into it.
Tapping style. These are different people.
I'm not touching this fight, man. I'm gonna pick Zhumagulov. I think he's probably the tougher dude. Can keep this on the feet. Yeah, I don't have much here. Zhumagulov's gonna be the pick.
Steve said he looks like a midwife from Fiji.
Always bringing the heat, Steve.
That's tremendous. Brad, I assume you got nothing here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Albazi just because Zoom is like 8,000 years old and doesn't really do anything. Like he tries to do things, he tries to be active and tries to get takedowns and stuff like that, but nothing really happens. So I think maybe Albazi can do some stuff and things will happen and he'll win the fight. But this is going to be a decision. It's probably going to be close, and I don't want to bet it.
Yeah, normally when you look at a fight, and like these guys both suck, obviously, but if you're looking at a fight where you got a guy who's going to spam takedowns versus a European, you go with the guy spamming takedowns because he's probably going to spam one around. But his takedowns are real bad, and we saw it in his first fight. It was like it was a wrestler who had never wrestled before, but knew his best way to win the fight was to get on the ground, and just not very good. And Albazi just. I don't know, he also just looks more the part. He's more athletic. He's stronger. He doesn't look like a 72-year-old man or a midwife in Fiji. I'll go ahead and take Albazi. I think the line was like a pick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is right now.
Are you betting on this?
No, I'm not. All right, let's now move up to a catch weight. I don't know why this is a catch weight. Is this short notice? Oh yeah, because
you're gonna have to tell me what fight it is because the way you described it means nothing.
This is the Russian fella versus Nick Lentz.
Oh yeah,
Evloev was supposed to fight Landwehr, which actually would have been.
That would have been. Oh yeah, that would have been a much better fight. Oh well, all right. Nushan, are you gonna waste money on Nick Lentz? Because I might. I won't. I will not do it this time.
I don't want to.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to. I don't think there's a good. I'm not betting either side. I was kind of looking at Nick Lentz plus 3.5 handicap, but I don't think he's gonna win any of these rounds. He's just not good anymore. Evloev, he is skilled. It's just he's boring.
Russian.
Ever since he's come to the UFC, he can't seem to finish guys. So I don't think he gets one here. But he is a better fighter at this point. I think he can stuff takedowns, win on the feet.
Is this featherweight?
It's 150.
Oh, it's catch weight. That's why I said that. I don't remember what I said 2 minutes ago.
50.
You did say catch weight.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to my self-talk.
This guy's a bantamweight. Why is he fighting Nick Lentz at 150?
He's fought at 145 in the UFC,
last couple times. I know.
I don't really understand why. Like, he does not look like a featherweight. So
no.
Wes?
Yeah, Nick Lentz just isn't got enough to beat this guy at this point, man. Like Sean said, he's strong enough to keep this on the feet and just do enough to take rounds off of Nick Lentz. I haven't put any bets on here. If I want some action, Evloev by decision was like -1. Yeah. Well, last time I looked, it was like minus 135. It might have went down a little bit. So I don't think he finishes. He's not a finisher to begin with since he's got to the UFC, and we all know how tough as fuck Nick Lentz is. I just don't think he's good enough. So Evloev by decision going to be my pick. But yeah, if it's too much juicier than around minus 135 or so, pass on a bet.
Bradley?
Yeah, it looks like minus 140 to 160, depending on where you're looking right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Evloev wins this one as well. The fact that it's at 150 is kind of concerning because he is not a big 145er and he should be fighting at 135. So it's going to be interesting if they get into the clinch and Lentz can muscle him around a little bit. I just think there's way too much speed for Evloev in this one. And he's just going to be moving around and pot-shotting Lentz all over the place. And honestly, I feel like Lentz is kind of at the point where he's been super durable throughout his career, but I think shots are going to start getting to him. And a guy that's way faster, even though he doesn't have a ton of power, might be the kind of guy that can really sting him and maybe get him out of there. So I'm going to just stay away from this one almost entirely. But I think it would be hilarious if he ends up stuck in the clinch with Nick Lentz and Lentz just ragdolls him around. That would be funny to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Lentz has cardio of an asthmatic wild boar. that's not bad. Yeah, I don't know what Lentz does here. Lentz really struggles if he can't take you down. If he can't take you down, he just really, really, really struggles in fights. He does get hit a lot more than he used to, and he doesn't take it as well. He gets beat up a lot more, and I think he's at a disadvantage wherever this goes. I don't think he's going to be able to land enough takedowns to control the fight on top. So I think this fight is going to be him getting taken down a little bit, him getting beat up a little bit, and I just don't think it's going to be a close fight. But I don't like to bet on Russians against wrestlers. It's kind of against my religion. Which is
500.
Which is atheism. All right, let's move on now to the middleweight division. We had Andrew Sanchez fighting McMann Muradov. News, Sean?
Yeah, I don't really have a good edge on this fight. I guess Muradov is a bit hyped up. The problem is he didn't fight last year. He fought 6 times in 2019. And then 0 in 2020. So I don't know what that looks like. Maybe he's the guy that needs to fight a lot to get better and stay good and just can fight good. But that is concerning. He hasn't fought in that long. I don't know who possessed Andrew Sanchez in his last fight. Getting a knockout I thought that was against the rules. I don't know. Is Turman that fucking bad? He must be. Has Andrew Sanchez fixed his, one-round fighter?
No.
I don't think so. Some people are going to say that, but I don't think so.
It's impossible to at this point.
I think Muradov is good enough that he can keep it on the feet and win. I don't trust that this is Andrew Sanchez 2.0, but I don't want to bet it.
Wes?
Yeah, I'm talking myself out of betting Andrew Sanchez here.
You love him. You love him, Wes.
I mean, he could be a 1-round champ. I'm telling you, first round Andrew Sanchez is a fucking monster. I mean, he really is. That dude's fucking athletic. He's got great wrestling, hits with some power, like ground and pound. But I mean, after 5 minutes, it's like that dude turns into absolute shit. And I don't think he can get this dude out of there in the first round, man. And then after that, you don't know. There's some fights where, Sanchez can get the first couple rounds and then he's just holding on for dear life in the third. Is that going to happen here? Is he going to, win the first and then just get absolutely smoked in the second? I don't know. I'm staying with my boy as far as a pick. I'm going to pick Sanchez as a dog here, but man, I can't bet. I'm not going to bet the other side either. Cause like all that said about Sanchez, that dude just sometimes puts on great round or two and can fuck some dudes up. So yeah, he's the pick. No bet.
Yeah, every
Bradley?
Andrew Sanchez fight is the same. It comes down to the second round because he is excellent in the first round and he is fucking awful in the third round.
Yep. It's always the second.
So whoever wins the second round, and I just think that Sanchez is gonna start to tire, and this Muradov guy he's not great. He's one of those guys that looks a lot better than he fights. But I think he's good enough that he can keep this on the feet, especially for the latter half of the round and win that round. And I'm going to throw some round 3 on anybody fighting Andrew Sanchez. So I got Muradov at 1,100.
Man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I might take a little shot on him straight as well. But I'm probably just going to do the quarter unit at 11 on Muradov.
I might take Andrew Sanchez round 3. What's that line?
Ooh.
Plus 2,000?
2,000? 1,800?
Is it?
Yeah.
Sanchez round 3. 18, 22, I see.
Yeah, it should be.
On there.
That man gets a third round finish. Holy fuck.
Hey, man, Derek Lewis has like 8.
That's Derek Lewis.
2,500 on Bet365.
I don't know what that is, but sounds good. Yeah, I don't have much of a read on this one. Andrew Sanchez is just an enigma to me. Like he looks so good at times. Like his wrestling and everything else looks so good. And then sometimes he's a bag of shit. And it's not always just like he looks great in the first round and then he gets worse. He could be bad the whole time. And I don't know. And I'm not a big fan of this Russian fella. So it's going to be a pass, and I'll pick the Russian guy. What did I miss?
Steve's latest gem. Sanchez's ears look like Andrew's taint after a 10-hour stint on his Peloton.
Oh,
Shout
God.
out to Andrew.
We have to read them out because not everybody is watching us. You
Mm.
should be watching us.
And if you know the inside, our boy Andrew is like a road warrior on that Peloton now.
I wouldn't say some people aren't watching. I would say 99% of the people aren't watching live in the video. But I guess people go back and watch it on YouTube a little bit. Anyway, let's now move on. We go into the not UFC fight. Well, now, do we even have Fight Pass still? Is that a thing?
Yes, we do.
Interesting.
In places outside America.
Oh, I haven't had Fight Pass in a long time. But we're moving up to the ESPN portion of the card. As we'll start in the light heavyweight division, as we have Khalil Rountree Jr. taking on Marcin Prachnio. I thought Rountree retired. Did I dream that?
Nah, he said something.
That.
Yeah.
He retired, and then he was supposed to fight at heavyweight or something against Hardy.
Then
he was like, no, fuck that noise.
He's back, baby.
Then his
check.
Yeah, his gas bill showed up and his water bill showed up, and he's
and now he's real motivated.
Yeah.
Well, the good news for him is he's fighting quite possibly the worst fighter I've ever seen. How is this guy getting a fourth fight? He is 0 for 3.
They all want to fight, Lance. They all want,
This guy, not only is he 0-3 and has been knocked out in the first round in all 3 fights, he got knocked out by Sam Alvey and Mike Rodriguez. Not exactly a murder. He got knocked out cold in 1 round by Sam Alvey. Not exactly a murderer's row. Oh, God. Nushan, how do you not take Rountree KO here?
I took Rountree round 1.
Yeah, I mean, first big shot.
It's the obvious play. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Prachnio is fucking horrible. He just is looking for a paycheck. He goes out there and he gets hit. That's what happens. So hopefully Rountree pulls the trigger. That's what I gotta hope for. I mean, Prachnio has been dropped 4 times in his 3 losses.
Is that good?
I tend to believe that Rountree can hit that chin. I just hope he does it in the first 5 minutes. I put a unit on that at plus 100.
That's not bad. Wes?
Yeah. This guy's like he looks the part. He's jacked up motherfucker, but man, he's horrible. His chin is just so bad. Yeah, I like the same as Sean here, plus 110. If you got to hope Rountree pulls the trigger. If he does, you got to think he's going to catch that chin, man. And like Sean said, if I'm wrong, if he can't get this fucking trash can out of there in the first round, then so be it. But yeah, Rountree round 1 plus 110.
Brad, you go all these round 1 props, huh? I don't play that game.
Just to be different, I'm gonna say
round 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Prachnio comes out and he goes full Vinicius Moreira, and he does nothing, and he just circles around and survives 5 minutes, and then Rountree melts him in the first 30 seconds of the second round.
Plus 500.
Exactly, I'm taking the plus 500 on the minus 350 fave to get a knockout, which he's going to do at some point.
People are just lining up to go to Fight Island. Lining up. Man, this might be the worst. I'm trying to the only thing I can think of worse than this guy getting a 4th fight is my girl. What's her nickname?
Shockwave.
Shockwave. My girl Shockwave. She's back. I'm betting Shockwave. There's no doubt I'm betting Shockwave. I'm taking that. But I like Rountree here. I'm not a big fan of round 1 props just because, especially the guy who just keeps getting knocked out in round 1. To Brad's point, he's this motherfucker's just gonna run. He's just gonna circle. Eventually, Rountree's gonna catch up. I think knockout was minus 175, minus 180. So I'm gonna be throwing that in a parlay. And Rountree is not very good, but Rountree has good power and he has pretty good striking. But also Rountree's a moron, and I feel like every time a guy loses 3 straight and just getting obliterated, he somehow wins. So it wouldn't completely shock me if Rountree also gets deaded. But I think. Minus 185, I think that's kind of hard to pass in the TKO by Rountree because this fight's not going to decision. And, a guy like that who just gets floored by Sam Alvey, I'll take minus 180 on an actual good striker. All right. God damn. We go to the women's. From this point on, we have 3 chick fights. They're just how much do we love Conor McGregor? That's what they're really testing us here. Women's bantamweight division. And what a hilarious fight. Mom versus mom on mom violence.
Baby.
Juliana Peña, Sarah McMann. Man, I don't even know where you start here or how you can be confident in something like this. But New Sean, give it a whirl.
I'm not touching this. I don't. Sarah McMann is so fucking bad. She finds ways to lose. This is a decent style matchup for her. Peña has terrible takedown defense. She's not that good off her back. This is a pretty decent style matchup for her, and I'm still not fucking touching it. I do see that fight goes to decision is only minus 185. Fuck, that is a bit tempting.
McMann loves to get choked unconscious.
And can I remind you that Peña got guillotined by Jermaine Durandamy?
The kickboxer.
Yeah. It seems like most of Sarah McMahon's fights end in submission, which is very WMMA of her.
Yeah, this is all kinds of quit. So I probably will stay away. I'll pick Sarah McMann to just wrestle her way and
Did you know she's
to throw
40?
away a fight.
Sarah McMann is 40 years old. That's crazy.
Yep.
Man. All right, Wes.
Yeah, all that said about Big Man though, Sean's right. If she can't take this chick down and lay on top of her for 15 minutes, seriously, that she needs to not fight again because this is the perfect opportunity. She shouldn't fight again anyway. Let's just get that out there. But yeah, I see that playing out here. She can't stop a takedown. Like Sean said, she's horrible off her back. I don't think she's gonna catch McMann and something off her back. Yeah, McMann by decision is plus 160. I'm not touching anything, but if I was to play something, it'd be her by decision plus 160.
This guy George Johnson had to get one. Next, the woman who got submitted by Jermaine Durandamy versus the woman who got TKO'd by Ronda Rousey.
Betchy versus Peña. That's a fucking main event if I've ever seen one.
Man.
And then our boy Steve would walk barefoot over a field of needles. Is that supposed to be needles? Is nettles
yes.
Needles in broken glass to eat Peña's ass.
Oh,
that's All right, Steve. I'll leave you to that one. Yeah, this is not a great fight, but I have a theory here. I've got a theory.
Here we go.
So Sarah McMann basically invented mom quit. We were there.
She did.
We saw it in person. It was tremendous. But now she's had a second kid. So kids are like,
it reverses it. Does it reverse it?
Yeah.
Cancels each other out.
Cancel each other out, and now she doesn't have the mom quit anymore. So she's gonna come back, and Juliana Peña in that time has had a kid, so now she has the mom quit. So when things go well for Sarah McMann early in fights, she's fine. It's good. It's when things stop going well and her opponent actually starts doing stuff to her that she gets in trouble. But she's going to be in control early here, and Juliana Peña is going to have a little case of the mom quit in this one. So Sarah McMann submission is like plus 550. That's the shit right there.
I mean, Peña's sub-defense is pretty good. She almost got out of that guillotine by that old kickboxer lady. So, not too bad. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is bad. I mean, just lining up. We got prospects, top superstars, just sitting in airports waiting to get to Fight Island. They take me to Fight Island. Like guys are coming out of retirement. Like,
get me on that McGregor card.
Habib's begging Dana to fight, and Dana's like, "Bro, chill out. We got McMahon versus Peña. We don't have room."
What a fucking shit job that was, the whole decision. And then Khabib comes out like yesterday. He's like, I don't know what he's talking about. I ain't fighting. I was here with my cousin. Or
surprise.
I heard the real story is Khabib didn't want to retire, but Dana was like, there's no room on the roster for you.
It's full. Fight Island is full. We
got nothing. We have nothing for. What am I supposed to just not put Jessica I on the pay-per-view? Come on, Khabib. This is the business.
Holy fuck.
What's next? You gonna let her drive? Khabib's a bad person. I know people seem to love him, but he's a really, really bad human being. I'm gonna take Juliana Peña in this fight. I'm not gonna bet it. All right, middleweight division. This fight's hilarious, but it's better than the last one. This is the perfect fight to go after this fight because it's hilarious, but it's gonna seem like a good fight after we watch the last fight. What a card, baby. Brad Tavares takes on Shoeface Antonio Carlos Jr. And if you would have told me both these guys are retired, I would not have argued with you. Dushan.
Well, loser's getting cut.
What
I believe.
No.
There is no. It used to be like you lose 3 in a row, you're cut unless something crazy happens or you're amazing. Fucking Shockwave.
Yeah, but Shockwave only makes 16 and 16 or whatever the fuck it is. Meanwhile, these guys.
What do you think Brad Tavares makes?
He probably makes 40. Come on now.
I bet they don't even pay Shockwave. She just give me the free trip to Fight Island. Like, we do have a spot to
fill. A per diem.
How's the Kenton Stern sound?
Man, this is gonna be a rough fight. This is gonna be a rough fight.
No way.
I tend to think Shoeface could probably get Brad Tavares down. I don't know if he can finish him there. I mean, he has the skills. Brad Tavares gets taken down a decent amount. He hasn't really fought real jiu-jitsu guys, so I guess we haven't really seen his sub-defense lately anyway. But Carlos Jr. just gasses so bad if he doesn't get the finish. If you got Carlos Jr. at like plus 130 where it opened 135, I think that was a decent play. But I'll just pick Tavares to win a boring decision after Shoeface gasses after winning the first.
Wes.
Yeah, it's crazy that Shoeface is like 30 years old, man. I just saw that. That can't be right. That's got to be like Cuban fucking birthdays and shit. Man, Tavares has just looked really bad here lately. I think he's been off for about a year or so too. So, yeah, Sean's right about Shoeface. I think he can get Tavares down, but if he doesn't finish him, man, he does have some pretty bad cardio problems. And Tavares is if anything, he's a tough dude. He'll usually stay in a fight. So, man, I'm gonna pick Shoeface, but yeah, I wish he was more like plus 150 or something like that, and I'd probably take a little shot on him to get a boring decision, like Sean said. But man, this is a rough fight. I'm just gonna pass.
Bradley.
Yeah, if I told you that these guys were 30 and 33 years old.
You stole my line. I was going to say, did you know Shoeface just turned 30?
There's no way.
Literally what Wes said like 2 minutes ago.
There's no way he's 30.
He's 30.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But at the same time, do you remember back when Brad Tavares had like 97% takedown defense or something, and they tried to claim that he had this great defensive wrestling? And then Yoel Romero went out there and like threw him out of the cage, just fucking launched him every which way. I think that like Carlos Jr. Shoeface is not a great wrestler, but he is a big fucking physical guy, and he's gonna get in on Tavares. And I think he's going to kind of ragdoll him around. And yes, he gasses. He doesn't gas as much as he used to. So I think that he can, if he doesn't get the sub in the first round, I think he can at least get a takedown in the second round and control a bit. And Brad Tavares isn't finishing anybody. So you don't really have to worry about him getting stopped in the third. So I actually like Shoeface quite a bit in this fight. And I'm probably going to have a little bet on him, as crazy as that is.
Love Shoeface here. This is a perfect fight for the young 30-year-old Shoeface. Tavares isn't very good. He doesn't have very good wrestling. He can be taken down. He's not great on the ground. And Shoeface loses to who he's supposed to lose to, and he usually beats who he's supposed to beat, and he usually submits who he's supposed to beat. And I know if he does gas out or whatever, but when he gets a guy to the ground, he's usually finishing. Like, this isn't a guy that wastes good positions. Like, he gets on top, he gets in good position, and he finishes. And Tavares he's getting older. He's an old-ass 33. He's coming off a torn ACL. He hasn't fought in a long time, and I don't think it's a torn ACL, a guy that's going to constantly be on your legs trying to take you down. I don't know if that's the best first fight for him. I love Shoeface in this fight, so I'm going to be all over Shoeface at plus money. Brad Tavares sucked. I don't know if Brad Tavares has ever been good. I think he had some good matchups
for a long time.
Well, I think he beat some guys that we thought were better than they were, and they ended up sucking. And anytime he faced anyone with talent, he did not win. Just not very good. Shoeface is the pick here. I will definitely have a bet on him. All right, let's move on to the final fight on the prelim card before we get to some real bangers on the pay-per-view. Lightweight division, Nasrat Haqparast versus Arman Tsarukyan. You, Sean?
I think we got a little bit of a hyped up Russian.
Yes, son. Feed me. Feed me. Feed it. Let's go. I made a living off this.
Oh. Yeah, like the thing with Tsarukyan is everybody was impressed when he fought Mac and Cheese on short notice and looked okay, but didn't really do much in that fight. And everybody was like, oh, I mean, he looked good in a loss. And then he fights Ohm, and that dude almost lost that fight. Ohm pissed that shit away in the third. Ohm was able to stuff all his takedowns in the second, and then Ohm wanted to grapple in the third, even though he was winning the stand-up, and just got reversed, and then he got laid on. I know Haqparast, he's been taken down by a couple of guys, but I think his takedown defense can be up to that level, and he is a much more dangerous striker than anybody Tsarukyan has ever fought. Tsarukyan, I mean, he didn't even look great against Davi Ramos, a strictly jiu-jitsu guy. I think this line should be a lot closer than it is. I like Haqparast here. I took him for 2 units at plus 225.
Man, Wes, I'm guessing who you're going to be on in this one. Mini Kelvin. Yeah.
Man,
let's get it.
I mean, it's like Kelvin shit out a kid, you know. It's like
little less fat.
How do you think he got down to 170 back in the day?
A little less.
He gave birth to Haqparast. Yeah, I don't think you could break it down too much better than what Sean said here. I do like Tsarukyan. I think he's pretty decent, but we're just getting to a point here to where he's like we led into this fight. He's just another hyped up prospect that, looking at this line, this is just crazy, man. Haqparast has fought some really good competition. I mean, the only fight he's lost over the past few years is, Drew Dober, who's just really fucking
good looking.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good fighter now too.
Good looking,
that guy's gotten really good, and that was a bad matchup for Haqparast too. I think this is a little bit better matchup for him, and this stays on the feet. He's just way better striker. So yeah, I mean, plus 250. You have to bet that. You gotta that angle's hitting, man. These hyped up prospects that get up to minus 300 or 400. That's just dumb. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little shot here.
Bradley?
Yeah, Tsarukyan's whole thing is that he looks good when his opponent tries to grapple him. Like Davi Ramos, I was an idiot. I think I bet Davi Ramos in that fight.
Yep.
I think so.
I thought that something good was going to happen there. Nope. Ohm, when he tried to grapple him, that didn't go well for him. But whenever Tsarukyan is the one that's trying to initiate the grappling, he doesn't look so good. He's much better when he's defending it, and there's guys who don't want to strike with him. But Haqparast is going to be striking with him, and he's going to have to initiate the takedowns. And we're going to see how good that wrestling really is, because it's one of those things where in MMA and in the cage, it's always easier to defend takedowns than get them. And I just think there's a big gap here on the feet. I know that people think Tsarukyan looks all right on the feet, which I guess he does, but Haqparast had a streak where he dropped like 5 guys in a row in fights. He's got some hands on him, and I don't think he's a terrible wrestler. So I think he keeps it on the feet and kind of boxes Tsarukyan up and probably wins a decision in this one. So I'm just going to play him straight because I don't think that decision props anything crazy. But Haqparast for me, Lil Kelvin, baby.
Yeah, I like Haqparast here, and I think, you mentioned the Drew Dober fight. It seemed like everyone was pretty high on him until that fight. Like people, I know he lost to Held early on, but people seem to think Haqparast was pretty decent, and I think Drew Dober was a underdog. I think that's one of the fights I got Drew Dober as a big underdog. Yeah,
was
hyped up.
Yeah, because I think I got plus 200 plus on Dober in that fight, and after that fight, it's everyone. People are still kind of sleeping on Dober a little bit after that fight, but everyone forgot Haqparast. And then, he come out and he won his last fight, and now he's this gigantic number versus Russian number 17. This guy's Russian? I just assumed by the last name he's Russian. Maybe he's from one of those other stupid Eastern Bloc countries.
I think he's like Armenian or something, isn't he?
Is there a real difference?
Flag.
And they're all the same anyway. That whole Eastern Bloc, that's one country. It's called the Soviet Union.
That's
wow.
It's not the Russian
for you, Lance.
He's from somewhere. He's not Russian, but he's from.
It's Soviet Union. It's all the same. Hey, I'm probably the only one in this podcast that's been to the Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, right? I wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
I spent 2 weeks in Bulgaria hanging out with Dimitrov. There's a huge mural of him in the city. He's all they got.
Damn right.
Yep.
I talk to people in Sofia every day.
Him and the dude that got stabbed.
Yeah, it's Blagoy Ivanov. Yep.
He's got a slightly smaller mural right next to Dimitrov.
I loved Bulgaria. Out of all the cities I've been to, that was my favorite by far. Beers were 5 cents.
Sofia?
5 cents. Yes, Sofia, Bulgaria. Fucking great. Beers were literally 5 cents.
It's what'd you love about the city? It's like the beer was 5 cents.
It was 5 cents. It was this beer. It was basically this Heineken ripoff. It was called the Gorka, and it was 5 cents, and it was really good beer. And then you'd go to I'd go to this. Everything's Italian there. They have amazing Italian food. I guess everyone immigrated from Italy, and you would go, and I'd get a 3 or 4 course meal with 5 drinks, like spaghetti or pizza, whatever, and my bill would be like $7. It's fucking great. Like they had a cafeteria in our office. I'd get a fucking like 14-ounce steak and like 2 sides and a piece of pie. And it was like $8. I was like, but I got like lunch beers, a steak, and it was the fucking place was incredible. Like my hotel didn't even charge for beers. They're like it literally or booze.
Cheaper than water.
They had this room if you were a guest in the hotel, you could go in and like literally we just like fucking Zagorkas out the ass. Like all these booze, everything, and they made their own booze called Rakia. Got hammered off that. It's a great place. You guys should go to Sofia, Bulgaria. Good massages too.
Oh, I bet.
But anyway, yeah, Sofia's wonderful place. Anyway, for this fight, Haqparast everyone forgot about him. He's still good. He has really good hands. I think this fight is going to stay standing. I think he just has the faster hands and the more power. And at that price, I don't think you have a choice but to bet him here. All right, let's now move on to the
women's. We didn't tell the people that's the consensus.
Is that the consensus?
That is.
That is the consensus.
It is.
That's wonderful.
Going back to back.
245
plus
200 dogs. You know, if we were a different tout podcast, we'd be like, consensus bet that random Russian fighting Lentz. I got him at minus 120. Yeah, I got it minus 120. You guys must have missed that line. Free for VIPs though.
Yeah. Sorry you missed the good line, but if you sign up for my package, you know.
Oh God. All right, let's go pay-per-view time. Women's strawweight division. Marina Rodriguez, who I literally have never heard of. I do know who this person is. Versus Amanda Ribas,
she's fought. Rodriguez has fought 5 times in the UFC and once on Contender Series, Lance.
Do you think I tell a difference between different women fighters? You don't think I just put them in one mold and not know the difference between them?
Lance, in all of her UFC fights, guess what's happened?
It's went to decision.
Nailed it.
Oh, look at that. Memorable moments.
I think Ribas is going to smash here. She's going to take Rodriguez down, who doesn't have very good takedown defense at all. She could catch a sub. She could smash her out. I don't know what she's going to do, but she's going to smash her. I got Ribas in a chalky ass 3-unit parlay.
You kept saying smash. Do you mean it like sup? Ribas. Sup. Wes? You going to smash? You going to smash Ribas?
No, I'm gonna pass on that. Yeah, she's gonna win here. I agree, Sean. She's gonna be able to get this to the mat and put a beating down on old girl. So yeah, I like her in a small parlay. I don't know about 3 units on her here, but I think Ribas is pretty good, and she should win this fight.
Can we take a moment to say that the teenager has a gaming chair? Should we talk about this?
See that.
Is he a gamer?
It's got the. Do you think it has the speakers in the headrest there?
Oh God, I hope not. Dude, my desk chair I've been using is so old. I had Helena buy some black duct tape because it was peeling everywhere. I just duct taped that sumbitch all over the place. It's good as new.
Mine's made out of wood.
That doesn't sound comfortable. Let's take a journey as I go upstairs to get my dip.
It's oak. It's finely made. Do I have to talk about this fight? Like, Ribas is pretty cute, and she's also like pretty good, I guess. She's probably gonna get a bunch of takedowns and win a decision.
Look at all that duct tape on there. Is it? I wasn't joking. There's duct tape all over that.
What the fuck is he doing?
Some tape stuff.
Ooh, tape study.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, and then
he started
too far away from the router. Yeah, I think Ribas is going to win a decision because she's just going to get a bunch of takedowns. I don't care about this.
Yeah, that chick's pretty good. I like her. She's good looking. Yeah, I'm going to parlay her with some stuff. This Marina Rodriguez girl, not good from what I could tell from the old Wikipedia. I looked up her fights, and usually after I look at some fights, I go, oh, yeah, that one. And I looked her up, and I was like, okay, so she fought like Esparza and like some other bitches. I've heard of all of them. Not a second. Can't remember it. Don't even know if it really happened. Could have been made up. Couldn't tell you. But
she's been 10-8'd a couple times, hasn't she?
Yeah, Marco's 10-8'd her. I'm pretty sure.
That's not good.
Ribas might. She
What's
could
the
possibly get a
sub-prop?
finish. She could possibly get a finish here.
what is the sub prop?
Let's see what we
Why
got.
is our boy Derek Love saying he's going to lose money on Marina? And who is
300.
Marina? Who is
300
that?
Lance for sub.
It's not bad. Not bad. All right.
600
move on.
for TK. Pounder out.
That's the problem with sub props. Like, especially for someone like Ribas, you could just as easily pound her out in the ground as, choke her. And this bitch could quit. Does she have any kids?
I don't think so. She's 33 though. Like, she's not young.
Has she been to the Smishmortion clinic?
Inside sources say likely.
I don't think she trained at Lloyd Irvin's. No.
I think it depends on your religion if it counts. We'll talk about that in the next fight.
Yeah.
First up, lightweight division. Matt Steamroller Frevola taking on the Ottoman Empire. Nushan? We disagree here.
Yeah,
Which means
I think
you're going to lose.
Yeah, probably. I think Azaitar is a fraud. It's just whether Frevola can take it long enough. I think if Azaitar doesn't knock him out clean in the first, which it is possible, I think Frevola takes over. I think this dude is going to gas if he doesn't finish in the first round. Frevola can wrestle. He can make this guy work. And I will definitely not take the Nazi. So yeah, I bet on Frevola plus 140 for unit.
What do you have against Nazis?
Yeah, why is he a Nazi, Sean? Jeez.
I've just heard things.
What have you heard? And what do you have against Nazis?
He was born in Cologne.
Very fine people.
Doesn't this hat go way much better with a dip?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Now you've completely done something.
Yeah, the whole get up now just got tied together,
That's an easy
Halloween
costume any year.
I was about to tell you that. So we did a Halloween thing at work, and I never dress up for Halloween, not a thing. And I had this like super old like shirt that I got when I worked in Danville for the Braves, and it's just like this old ratty shirt with holes in it, and the sleeves were cut off. I wore that, some gym shorts, and this, and I just walked around the office with a dip all day. Went to this like big meeting, walked in there, I was like, "Hey y'all." Great costume. I do a good redneck. All right, Wes.
Yeah, I'm kind of more leaning with Sean on this one.
That's not good.
That's okay.
We're just gonna ride Sean.
We know Wes.
All night.
We know Wes.
I just I kind of feel the same way. I don't really know about this dude. We know Frevola's tough as hell, man. And if this guy doesn't get him out of there pretty quick, I think Frevola's going to be all over this dude. He's going to make it rough in there. He's going to be throwing punches. He's going to be trying to take him down. And if this guy can't get him out of there in the first or so, I think he's going to be in for some bad shit in the second and third round. I don't know if I want to take Frevola here at that slight of a dog price. I would like a little bit more, and maybe I get it before the fights because I feel like this dude's another one of those hype trains that's going to get bet up, and Frevola is a really tough motherfucker that is hard to get out of there. So Frevola is going to be the pick for sure, and if it gets up to plus 150 or so, I'll probably take a small shot.
Bradley,
get it.
Is Frevola that tough to get out of there? Because I mean, like Polo melted him in a minute.
I mean, but that was like
true.
The one time in ever, like ever.
I mean, he also hasn't fought anybody good.
Yeah,
Lando.
Do we know
twice too?
Do we know this guy's like good though? I
don't think he's good. I agree with you guys that the okay. First of all, this is the Tonka truck main event of the night. We got the bulldozer against the steamroller. And that's actually a pretty apt description for this fight because Frevola's style is that he is going to come forward and collide with you. And he's facing a guy that I don't really think he's any good, but he's got those like Antonio Margarito hands. He dipped them things in plaster, wrapped them in cinder blocks.
He hits hard.
He hits real hard. He doesn't even throw good punches or anything. It's just that when he connects, people drop. And I don't think that Frevola is the type of guy with how much he gets hit that is going to survive that. So I got the Ottoman Empire taking this one. I might throw a little bit on the round 1 prop because I think it's just going to be collisions until he drops. Frevola drops. That is.
Yeah, I like Azaitar a good bit here, actually. I think, what is Frevola good at?
Getting hit.
He's not a good striker. He's not a good grappler. Doesn't have good jiu-jitsu. Doesn't have a great chin. He's white. White guys, come on. And you know, like Grant said, it is like he dipped his hands in some shit. Like he's like this dude. Like when he just seems like he hits harder than everyone else. And like, yeah, he's not the most technical striker, but this guy just is one of those guys that just. He has dynamite in his hands, and he's very, very powerful. He hits very, very hard. Matt Frevola is very, very white, and I don't see it. Frevola just looks like a dude who, anytime he faces a decent fighter, an athlete, he's gonna lose. Like he does win fights by kind of just outlasting his guys. Like his best win ever is a split decision by Luis Peña. Like I don't know. He's not very good. I'm not very high on him. I did bet him, against Jalen Turner because he's a real shitbag. But Azaitar, I don't know. I think he's good. I know you guys aren't very high on him. I know he hasn't beaten the best guys yet, but there's something to a guy that just knocks everyone out in the first round. Even when he gets in the UFC, we see a lot of guys who get all those first round knockouts earlier in their career, and then once they get to the UFC, they get less knockouts, and that kind of starts fading away. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy. And once he got here, he's still knocking guys out. His hands are dynamite. And I think this is quick work. I think the line's way short, and I like him here.
Also, there's a reason that this fight is happening in Abu Dhabi on a Conor McGregor pay-per-view, and it's on the main card of that pay-per-view, and it's not because Matt Frevola's in the fight.
Everyone wants to see Matt Frevola.
We're also about to talk about the next fight on this pay-per-view that's even higher up. So
this is a banger, all right?
Doesn't seem to matter. I'm just throwing shit at the wall.
I will be betting Azaitar here in a parlay. All right, let's move on to just a good fight here. I mean, legit, this might be a number 1 contender fight in the stacked 125 division.
I hope so.
The gift that keeps on giving, women's MMA. Jessica I. Here we go, evil. Here we go. Like fighter. And then the king of the Smith Morrison Clinic, Joanne Calderwood. Unforgettable.
That's one of the best insides.
I've seen inside info and I've seen reasons to bet someone, but a recent trip to the Smith Morrison Clinic is not one of them until then. So Nishan, what you got here? Do you have any insight here? Has there been any trips to the clinic lately?
I got no insight on this one for that. I had a little more on the last woman's fight, but man, I think Calderwood should win this fight, but she also likes to just give away fights. Jessica kind of does that too. When you're getting handily outstruck by Cynthia Calvillo on the feet, not a good sign for Jessica. So I think Calderwood should win, but like I said, she loves to find a way to lose. So I will not back either of these. They're pretty fraudulent, and somehow this is almost the number 1 contenders fight in women's flyweight.
There's no S. Just contender.
Oh,
just helping out. Yeah. Wes?
Yeah, this is just
great.
I have no clue what's really going on when this is the shit that you're putting on a pay-per-view. It's
from the top, baby.
I don't know how you cheerlead this company when this is the shit that they're going to, and it's going to be like $80 or some shit like it. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. I don't care.
I don't know. I'm streaming it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
You watch out. Son. You watch out.
Stop
Come.
looking. Is you listening, Dana? Yeah, I picks Calderwood. I want nothing to do with this fight.
Brad.
Yeah, Joanne Calderwood has done a great job of failing upwards in MMA. Because every time she's supposed to be a contender or something, she gets submitted or she loses a fight she shouldn't lose. But man, it's usually because she's getting submitted. So I feel pretty safe here against Jessica Eye, because I don't think she's ever submitted anybody. And man, like, is there a more unlikable fighter than Jessica Eye? Like,
Who do I hate more? Leon Edwards.
Steve
No.
said Jessica has the charm and charisma of an open grave. That kind of explains it all right there.
Jimmy Ab. I definitely like him a lot.
Yeah.
James
I don't
Vick,
know.
if we count him as a fighter.
Yeah, that's a good one. But Jessica Eye's rate, she's in contention for the top of that list. I don't trust Joanne Calderwood, though. Ever. Like, she's never been very good. So I'm picking her to win, but I'm not betting this shit. Dog walk.
Yeah. I got nothing here. This
Dog walk during a pay-per-view. That's
It's like-
fucking sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dog walk fight of the night right there, baby.
and this is where I don't get it. Like putting Ian Calderwood on the pay-per-view, it's like people do pay for this, right? Like if you put, little Calvin on this pay-per-view over that, or even like fucking Shoeface and Tavares or Rountree, no one says a word. Everyone just goes, yeah, it's Conor pay-per-view, whatever. We're not going to get, great fights on it. But you put Ian Calderwood, that's all anyone has talked about this week. Is like, you want me to pay for Jessica Eye. You put Jessica Eye in a 3-1 fight. It's just
spit in my face.
It's like, God, I hate myself. Like I hate myself because of this. And it's fucking sad. And the women's MMA and how they keep trying to make it mainstream. They keep trying to push it. They put it on Conor McGregor cards and why not put in this spot like a guy who could be good, right? Like put a fight on here with a couple prospects who you think you like. It's a Conor McGregor card. Everyone's watching. You're getting no bang for your buck putting Jessica Eye and Calderwood on this fight. The Ribas one actually makes sense. She's someone they can get behind. She's a top prospect. Why waste this glorious spot for this? Yeah. That's what I don't get. Even
Jessica Andrade in this spot, that I would be on board with.
More, 100%. But like, if I'm the UFC, I'm putting Kevin Holland on this pay-per-view. Like, I'm putting a guy that you can really get some eyeballs on because everyone is going to be talking about this card. It's Conor McGregor, and they're wasting it here. And I don't understand. I truly don't understand. And it's going to be a fight that's going to go the distance. It's not going to be fun. We're all going to be pissed off, and then we got to get rehyped for the Hooker Chandler fight. But in terms of this fight, I guess I'll pick Calderwood. I'm not gonna bet on this. But now let's go to the co-main event, which for a Conor McGregor card, this is about as good as you can get from a co-main event. This is a main event type fight. This could easily be a main event. It was better than the main event we had a couple days ago. We have in the lightweight division, Dan Hooker taking on Michael Chandler, who's finally making his UFC debut. I think we all wish it was 5 years ago, but he's still a very, very dangerous guy, and I think a lot of people are looking forward to this. You, Sean?
This is a tough fight for me to pick. I do like Dan Hooker. I think he's a really good striker. He does have a bit of power, as we've seen with the Gilbert Burns knockout in our absolute favorite top 4 anyway, James Vick knockout. This is a bit of a tough matchup. His takedown defense really hasn't been tested that much against a true wrestler. And I think if Chandler does implement that game plan, that he can have a decent amount of success in it. But I have a tough time backing Chandler because we've seen this so many times where a guy comes from another organization after like waiting way too long. And I know they've fought in big fights before for Bellator or whatever, but it just seems like when it's the UFC, it's different. Alves had a pretty mediocre first fight. Lombard, I could still see Chandler being a little bit starstruck in this fight. So I'm staying away. I'll pick Chandler to wrestle his way to a decision. But I wouldn't be too surprised if Dan Hooker is able to catch that chin a bit.
Yeah, you're wrong. Wes.
Yeah, I do think this is a fairly close fight. I think Sean's right. The whole guys coming over, and yeah, we do wish this was 4 or 5 years ago for Chandler, so we could have had the prime of his career, because the guy's good, man. He's still good. And it's not like he's like old. I'm just, if there was one guy that I don't think that kind of stuff would matter to, it is Chandler. I think that guy's about as mentally tough as it gets. And also, this isn't going to be a fight that's in front of, it's not a normal Conor McGregor type atmosphere of a card. It's not going to be in front of 30,000 people or anything like that. But as far as the fight, yeah, I mean, it is pretty tough. The one thing I'll say is Chandler, usually he doesn't have too much of a problem getting in on guys, and we haven't seen anybody like Michael Chandler test Hooker's wrestling at this point. Hooker is also coming off a pretty tough fight his last time out. That's also it's always a concern for a guy coming back. Yeah, I like Chandler here. I think Chandler can get in enough and use this wrestling on Hooker that is absolutely unproven, that he can keep this fight on the feet and stay at enough distance to where he can land a lot on Chandler. It's not like Chandler doesn't have a little bit of power when he gets in and throws those overhands. So, yeah, I like Chandler. Not huge or anything. I do think it's close, but at a plus money price, I think you almost have to take just an absolute vet in this spot that's been in a lot of big fights, even outside the UFC.
Brad?
Yeah, Hooker has a chance to win this fight. His chance to win this fight is he lands something as Chandler is coming in. Once Chandler gets inside, he's fucked. On the outside, Chandler is so much faster than him. Like, Michael Chandler is a legitimately good athlete, and Dan Hooker is like a tough pipe cleaner that learned how to throw strikes.
Throw some good kickboxing.
Yeah.
Yep.
There is going to be a massive difference in speed in this fight. So maybe Hooker throws a knee up or something while Chandler's coming in and is able to land that knee because he's super tall. He's one of the guys, like, he's 6 feet tall. You should be fighting at welterweight. Get the fuck out of here. But Chandler has a ton of power, and Hooker has terrible tall guy defense. So I think Chandler's going to land big early. And if that doesn't get him out of there, he closes the distance, like Wes said. He gets inside, and he is going to absolutely ragdoll Dan Hooker once he's inside. Chandler can wrestle. Hooker, I know he said earlier this week, one of the many stupid things he said this week is that, I haven't been out wrestled in a long time, from the guy who
in New Zealand.
From the guy who got out wrestled by Jason Knight. Rubber guard king Jason Knight out wrestled the shit out of this dude. So Michael Chandler, there's this narrative that he's been in a bunch of wars and taken so much damage. Most of his fights, he's getting dudes out of there in the first round. He's had a couple wars. And
that's a long time ago, too. He hasn't had a war in a while.
Exactly. Dan Hooker has had recent wars where he has been through the shit. And he hasn't looked like he's had good cardio in those fights. He is like Neil Magny. He loses all of the championship rounds in his fights. And I don't think that, like, Chandler slows down. But he's still going to be way faster, way stronger than Hooker. I think that he tosses him around for this fight if he doesn't get him out of there. And Hooker's tough, so he probably doesn't get him out of there. I've got Chandler pretty big in the decision here, and I'm betting him.
Lance, I like calling for the whiteboard.
Matt put it nice. Easy one to break down. NCAA All-American, yes or no. I think when you get matchups like this, it's ways to win, right? Like, I think Chandler's a better striker, and I think he obviously has the way bigger power. But if the striking is not going his way, he has that out. And Chandler is one of those guys that's not always wrestle first. He wrestles when he needs to. And I think in this fight, if he does get in trouble, if Hooker starts putting some things together on the feet, or he's having trouble dealing with the length, he can out wrestle this guy easily. Like, it's not competitive when you get this to the mat. And Chandler just has more ways to win. And I think, Hooker's advantage of maybe having cardio possibly, because Chandler has shown he's gassed, but wrestlers wrestle gassed all the time versus top wrestlers. It's not hard to out wrestle a guy when you're gassed if he doesn't know how to wrestle. It's a lot easier when the guy has no takedown defense. And Hooker's just not that guy. Hooker's not going to have this, this one punch power. And I think Hooker's kind of rise to where he got up to that Dustin Poirier fight. I think it was one of those, he got good matchups. He beat a lot of guys who, look at the James Vick fight. Vick sucked. That was the win that kind of propelled Hooker up until like the rankings when he knocked out James Vick, who obviously we knew sucked. And then he beat Al Iaquinta, who's
the Burns one was nice when he knocked out Gilbert.
The Burns one was nice. That's a different
really
guy.
Good. Yeah.
That's you almost don't even have to like look at that. That's a completely different guy. And then he beat a bunch of guys, who weren't Ross Pearson, Diakese, old Jim Miller, and then he fights Iaquinta, who was his big, top 10 win. And I think Iaquinta, who doesn't fight very much, and he has some good performance here, and he doesn't give a shit. This is a tough fight. Chandler is tremendous. He has amazing hands. He has great wrestling. I mean, this is a guy who walked on at Missouri in All-American status. This guy's a worker. He's really good, and I think he has more way to win. I don't think this is close. I think this line is a couple bucks off.
Steve does not
so
agree.
really like him. I don't care.
He's losing his mind. Oh man, this is good.
What was a kick by a semi-pro rookie? Whose fight was that?
Oh, he's talking about the one where he busted his ankle against Primus.
Yeah.
Oh
Primus
yeah, that counts. Yeah, that counts.
That was like
so. Watch those calf kicks.
Yeah, it was one of those like first around the beginning of the calf kicks, and Chandler took one and his leg gave out.
Yeah.
No, he rolled his ankle at the same fucking time. I mean, Dan Hooker lost a grappling match to Jason Knight.
Yeah. the bare knuckle boxer. So I love Chandler here. I think this is completely one-sided. So this is the Munich play of the week. Going with another dog this week after hitting a couple of days ago, but love Michael Chandler here. And I have no idea what happens in this lightweight division with Conor and everything else, but I wouldn't mind if Conor, whatever happens, like do Bronx, I wouldn't mind getting his hands on Chandler. So we'll see what happens. Let's now move on to the main event as we have a rematch with Dustin Poirier taking on the return of Conor McGregor, who looks great, saying all the right things, looks great. Man's a gamer. New Sean?
Yeah, I think this kind of comes down to a couple things. Like both these guys, like if you look at their stats, which you guys I'm sure hate for the most part, they're basically the same. What I think that Dustin has a decent amount of miles on him for being 32 years old. He's been in some pretty rough fights. He's been the winner in some of those fights, but he started slow against Hooker. Hooker was able to beat him up in the first 2 rounds. Max Holloway hit him a lot. The Gaethje fight, Gaethje put him through a lot of shit. He's just been through a lot of wars, and I know McGregor kind of just hasn't. I know he hasn't fought consistently, but I think that McGregor is just one of those guys that I don't think he needs to fight that often. He's one of those elite kind of athletes that he can train, and when he dedicates himself, he's one of the best. And I think he comes out very quickly in the first round and hits Dustin, and he puts him out. Dustin is susceptible to kind of just not getting into the fight as quick as he needs to. So my pick and my bet, I'm closing that 3-unit parlay with Ribas with McGregor at -127.
Wes?
Yeah, for me, I don't think this fight's really that hard to break down. I'm a really big Dustin fan, the fighter, the guy outside the cage he's turned into might be one of the best dudes in this business.
One of the few.
Yeah, absolutely. But this isn't really hard, man. I mean, Sean's right about McGregor doesn't need to be like some active dude and stuff, and it's not like he's been off a ton of time, considering we see dudes take 2-year layoffs and shit all the time. When McGregor gets his shit right and wants to get ready for a fight, he does it. And man, fuck, he looks to be in some of the best shape that he looks absolutely jacked. I mean, Dustin's just so susceptible to so many punches, man. He's taken so many, even in fights he wins. Conor hits like a fucking truck, man. I mean, that's not trained or nothing. That dude just hits like a fucking truck. He's a fucking really good MMA boxer. let's put that the MMA part on it, but his hands are fucking excellent, man, inside the cage, and he's gonna catch Dustin, man, and he's gonna get him out of there. I think he knocks out Dustin again, and we get some huge fight with somebody coming up.
Yeah, Pac-Man.
Probably. I don't doubt that whatsoever.
We get to see him get knocked out by Pacquiao.
Yep. Conor's one of the probably the best businessman that this sport's ever seen. I mean, props to him, and I don't doubt that fight's not probably set up, but yeah, I like Conor here by KO, probably somewhere in the second or third round. He gets Dustin out of there.
Brad?
If I didn't see Dustin Poirier get melted by Michael Johnson, I think I would actually be kind of confident in him in this fight, which is weird. I think McGregor is a much more patient fighter than he used to be. Yeah, I know that he got a super quick knockout against Cerrone last time out, but Cerrone was no threat to him and not durable, so he knew that he could just get out there and go after him. I think he knows that Poirier is more of a threat. And if McGregor's aggressive and gives Poirier chances to exchange with him in the pocket, that's where Poirier's actually going to be able to land stuff. But if McGregor plays it safe, not plays it safe, but stays more on the outside and sort of like picks at him and looks for his opening, he's the much better striker here. If he does that and stays patient, I think he's going to land something eventually. I don't necessarily think it's going to be super quick. But man, I'm trying to look for a way to bet Poirier in this fight. And even then, I'm having a difficult time finding it. Maybe if it goes a little bit longer and Poirier can start to get into a rhythm and pile stuff up, he can win a decision or something like that, because I don't think he's getting McGregor out of there. I don't think grappling's going to happen in this fight. So eventually I just have to side with McGregor as a pick. I don't really want to bet it. I'm probably going to put Poirier in Tout Master. But yeah, that's more wishful thinking than an actual pick once I actually thought about it a bit more.
Yeah, I like Conor here a good bit. I think it's speed and technique on the feet is the biggest thing. Conor, people love to hate Conor. I think they sometimes discount his skills because of how he is and what he does and everything about Conor McGregor. But Conor's one of the best strikers we've ever seen in MMA. He really is. He's so technical. He's so fast. He's so smart. He thinks about every shot. He doesn't waste shots. He's just an incredible striker. And I think you can't discount, the first fight was a long time ago, obviously, but he got in Poirier's head so much in that first fight. And I do think it played a part in that. And I think now it's almost like Conor's doing.
Oh, this is when it was going to happen.
He caught the left.
One thing I was going to mention that I missed is that, Sean, you said that Poirier has had he's lived a rough life inside the cage. McGregor's lived a rough fucking life outside of the cage, and both of those can age you. So both of these guys are way older than 32.
And
That's
Connor even looks it now. Like,
yeah, he does. That's
that
for
dude.
sure.
It worked the whole time until the very end.
You caught.
Don't worry.
that
Don't
We're
worry.
getting too hyped.
We
Yeah.
covered for you, Lance. We got it. We're good.
It worked great until then. But what I say, I think, Connor's taking the opposite approach now with, what he did last time is, all the shit talking this. Now he's being like ultra nice to Dustin and like, I'll help you find a distributor for your hot sauce and all this stuff. And like Connor's always playing mind games. It's just what he is. And I think, Connor's just too smart. And I think a regular striker, I don't think is the guy that beats Connor. Connor lives for that. That's what he wants. He wants guys in the feet. It's going to be the grapplers. All bias to the side. A guy like Dubronx. Those are the guys that are Habib, guys like that. Those are the guys that are going to give Connor fits. It's not going to be Dustin Poirier. He's too slow. He's not technical enough. And I don't see Dustin, A, shooting takedowns, or B, getting those takedowns. So I think this is going to be on the feet, and I don't think it's going to last very long. I think it's going to be, middle end of first, early second. I think Connor puts him out of there. And yeah, I have Connor in a parlay as well. So that'll do it. Fun show. Thanks everyone. We had a lot of comments during the show today, so we always appreciate when you guys join in for the live view.
A bunch of new faces in the chat too. So
yeah,
I just see Kazmat Wolf here, and I think that's just a troll. Lance, Poirier round 4, greatest fighter of all time's name.
Poirier round 4 sounds like something I could get into. Is that one of my is that one of my burners? Is that that's like plus 3,500 or something?
Yeah. But there's some fun fights on Saturday. We end up enjoying the cards no matter what. But it is nice to see Conor McGregor back. He is good for the sport. And even the hardcore of hardcore fans, we all get amped for Conor fights. We all want to see Conor fight just as much as casuals. There's something about it. It's a spectacle, even without, a bunch of, fans and everything else. Seeing Conor fight is something that we like to do, and it's always an event. So we appreciate everyone listening this week. Good luck on your bets. Don't buy picks from touts. Do it yourself. Have a good night.